Hey everyone, and welcome back. Have you ever found yourself totally captivated by the behind the scenes magic of your favorite movies and shows, even video games? Yeah, you're not alone.
Today, we are diving deep into the world of producers. Those creative masterminds who make it all happen. We're going to be cracking open some insightful career resources from RoleCatcher to give you the inside track on what it really takes to thrive in this dynamic industry.
Okay.
And joining me today is a seasoned expert who well eats, sleeps, and breathes production. Welcome to the show.
It's fantastic to be here. People often associate producers with the glitz and the glamour, but let me tell you, it's so much more than that. Okay, so let's get right into it. RoleCatcher's Guide describes producers as architects of creative projects. And I love that phrasing because it's not just overseeing, it's really shaping things from that initial spark of an idea all the way to the final product.
Right.
It's a pretty exciting concept when you think about it, right?
It really is. Imagine having the vision to see a project's potential and then having the determination to shepherd it through every single stage, from pre-production all the way to the audience. That's what a producer does.
Wow. Yeah, and that brings us to the skills you need to make it happen. RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat the demands of this job, long hours, high-stress situations, and the ever-present need to adapt. They actually list constant need to adapt as a major con. But honestly, what creative field these days doesn't require that? Exactly. The entertainment industry is in constant flux, responding to new technologies, evolving audience preferences, and the emergence of new platforms. Being able to adapt and learn quickly is absolutely crucial.
Absolutely. I was really struck by how much emphasis RoleCatcher placed on negotiation skills for producers. And it's not just about having artistic vision, it's about navigating complex contracts, juggling budgets, and making sure everyone involved is literally on the same page.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. A successful producer needs to be a master negotiator. They're the bridge between the creative vision and the financial realities, constantly mediating and finding solutions that work for everyone involved.
Totally. And they have to be incredible listeners, too. RoleCatcher actually highlights active listening as one of the most crucial skills for a producer. And for good reason. Think about it. A producer is the central hub of communication on any project. They need to be tuned in to their team's ideas and concerns, their clients' expectations, and even the subtle cues of how the project itself is evolving. Without active listening, it's like trying to conduct an orchestra with earplugs in.
Oh, that's such a great analogy. So we've established that producers wear many hats: negotiator, listener, creative, visionary. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of what that looks like day to day. RoleCatcher breaks down the typical career path into distinct stages, each with its own unique set of responsibilities.
And that's where aspiring producers can really start to map out their trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding those stepping stones, the skills honed to each level, it's all part of the journey.
Yeah, it's like an apprenticeship for the creative world, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Constantly learning, proving yourself, building your network.
Speaking of which, RoleCatcher kicks things off with a role that's often overlooked but absolutely essential: the production assistant.
The unsung heroes, that's for sure.
Right. One of the example profiles in the guide really stood out to me. They summed it up perfectly. Highly organized and insanely detail-oriented. Turns out those aren't just personality quirks, they're producers' secret weapons.
I couldn't agree more. From wrangling schedules and logistics to keeping track of what feels like a million moving parts, a producer's organizational skills can make or break a production.
Oh, absolutely. And as you climb that ladder, you become a production coordinator. RoleCatcher paints a picture of someone who might be juggling multiple productions at once. Talk about a masterclass in multitasking.
Coordination at that level is an art form, especially as projects become more complex. Anticipating bottlenecks, maintaining clear communication across departments. It's about ensuring a smooth and efficient workflow for everyone involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we move into the creative trenches as an assistant producer, where collaboration really takes center stage. One RoleCatcher profile even mentioned having a keen eye for detail and a passion for storytelling. Sounds like you've got to be firing on all cylinders at this stage.
Absolutely. As an assistant producer, you're more deeply involved in the creative aspects of the project, working closely with writers, directors, the talent. You're helping to shape the story's direction and ensure that the final product stays true to the original vision.
Wow, it sounds like a constant balancing act between managing the logistics and nurturing the creative spark.
It's a delicate dance, that's for sure. And it only becomes more intricate as you reach the top. The producer role itself. This is where you're steering the entire ship from securing financing to ensuring those initial creative sparks translate seamlessly to the screen, the airwaves, or even the gaming console.
It's interesting that you mentioned different mediums, because one profile really stuck with me. They emphasized having a deep understanding of financial management. It's not something you always associate with creative fields, but it makes perfect sense.
It's crucial. Producers are often responsible for securing funding, managing budgets, and ensuring the project's financial viability. It's that delicate dance between art and commerce that I mentioned earlier. And that's where understanding the nuances of each platform and their respective audiences becomes paramount.
Okay, so understanding the business side of it too. Which brings us to another important point from RoleCatcher. The evolving industry landscape, streaming services, the demand for original content, it's a whole new ball game out there, right? It
Mm.
really is. And producers are right there on the front lines of that change. It's not just about understanding how to craft a compelling story anymore. It's about navigating the complexities of each platform, knowing their algorithms, their audience demographics, even their tolerance for risk.
Right, it's a whole new world. And this is where Rollcatcher's insights into the role of AI in the job market really resonated with me.
Oh, absolutely. They've got a whole system for tailored CV analysis interview prep. It's like having a digital career coach in your back pocket, helping you understand exactly what these new platforms are looking for.
Precisely. In the past, it was often about who you knew, who you could network with. But with AI, it's about how well you articulate your skills and experience in a way that algorithms can understand. It's leveling the playing field, democratizing access to opportunities in a way we've never seen before.
Yeah, it's like you need to be a producer for your own career. That strategic thinking, that adaptability, those are essential skills for anyone navigating the modern job market, not just in the entertainment industry.
Couldn't agree more. And that brings us back to that idea of lifelong learning. The entertainment landscape is changing so rapidly. The
Hmm.
producers who thrive are the ones who are constantly seeking out new knowledge, new technologies, and new ways of working.
Yeah, RoleCatcher actually touched on this, encouraging aspiring producers to join industry organizations like the Producers Guild of America. It's about networking mentorships, staying ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. Networking is invaluable. Building relationships with fellow creatives, with mentors who've navigated these waters before can make all the difference.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From the nitty-gritty of daily tasks to the ever-evolving demands of the industry, we've really gotten a sense of what it takes to be a producer in today's world.
It's a multifaceted role. It's for
Mm,
sure demanding, challenging, but ultimately incredibly rewarding for those who have the passion and the drive to succeed.
for sure. And before we wrap things up, we always like to leave our listeners with a little something to ponder. Today's Food for Thought, we focused on the overarching role of the producer. But how much do you think that role shifts and adapts depending on the specific medium? Is it the same to produce a blockbuster film as it is to produce a hit song, a video game, a live theatrical production?
It's a fantastic question. While the core tenets of leadership vision and creative problem solving remain constant, I imagine the day-to-day realities, the specific challenges and rewards vary greatly depending on the medium.
Right, it's like the producer's toolbox might stay the same, but the projects they're tackling, the materials they're working with, those are constantly evolving.
Exactly, and that's what makes this field so endlessly fascinating.
Well said. So listeners, we've given you the knowledge, now it's your turn to explore. Think about the producers behind your favorite books, films, podcasts. Everyone has one. Do a little digging, see if you can uncover the hidden hand guiding those creative endeavors. You might be surprised by what you find. Until next time, happy deep diving.